Good evening, everyone. This is Voices from Water Citizen. I'm Carl Lu, host for tonight. Here with us today is Xiana. Xiana been living in China for 2 years, and she's been studying Chinese as well. So let's hear her story out. Hello, Xiana.
Hi, Cara. Hello,
How are
everyone.
you?
I'm fine. Fine, thanks.
Yeah. Would you like to introduce yourself a bit more?
Sure. I'm Xiana, and I'm an Italian that lived in Shanghai for 2 years. I studied Chinese, and then I'm working for an Italian company that has a lot of business with Chinese. Um Now I'm here in Italy because of COVID and and everything. But yeah.
Yeah. I believe you went through a lot because of the COVID-19 thing. Would you like to share a bit your experience? What
Sure.
did you do? Yeah.
Mm, I arrived in Shanghai in January, and then
Mhm.
because of Chinese New Year, I stayed at home. I didn't travel, so that time all the restaurants and shops and offices were closed because of the holidays. But then at that time, the first cases of COVID-19 were reported in Wuhan, and then they also spread all over China. So I was supposed to go back to Italy for a business trip at the beginning of February. So
Mhm.
I decided to anticipate my flight at the end of January, so because my family they were worried, my boyfriend, my friends. So and also I thought it was better to go back as I had already a flight. So I just anticipated, and then I arrived in Italy. I had my self quarantine at home for 2 weeks, which was not compulsory at that time.
Mhm.
And then, like February, middle of February, the virus came also like spread all over the world, and especially in my region, we were affected a lot. So we started self quarantine at home too till the beginning of May, when
Mhm.
factories started to open. Now, like in the middle of May, we are trying to open like small, how to say, like
Like in process?
process, yeah.
Uh-huh.
At the beginning of June, other businesses will open too, restaurants. So we are trying to go back to normality, which is not that
Mhm.
the same normality as before, I think, because I think uh, we all need to learn from this experience without forgetting what happened, and hopefully we will be more aware of of this.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a new abnormal, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
And during this COVID-19, um, I heard story from a very different perspective. Someone was blaming and resentful, and some of others might, take the time to get along with themselves and try to learn new things and be appreciated for. So, what's your situation? What's your emotion mood?
Um, when I came here, I started living together with my boyfriend. So I had the possibility to stay a long time with him, experimenting this living together. Uh, so I think this has been good time to stay together, to also know each other better, because I've been to China for 2 years. So it's been a good way to. We were forced to stay together, so we had to live together. Of course, at the beginning, I was very sad, and I was not feeling that active because here in my region we were affected a lot. So many people died. So at some point, I was also feeling that I was not useful enough. Of course, staying at home was already a good thing to do because you were avoiding social relationships, and the risk of transmitting the virus was less. But I wanted to give my small contribution, so I decided to join a volunteer activity. So we were delivering food and like primary, how to say, goods for people that were in need, for families, for elderly. So in that moment, I was feeling a little more useful. Of course, there were times when I complained because it's not easy to stay at home all day. Also, work was not that much, but at least I was lucky to still have a job, because many people lost their jobs, so they went through a lot of difficult time. So at some point I was also feeling grateful, and I was more focused, because I think that it was very difficult to be focused on what was important. So I also had the possibility to, I don't know, I cooked a lot. I had time to take care of my plants. Now my terrace is full of tomatoes and herbs.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so happy and also appreciate that you did the volunteer work. I think that's very inspiring when you know, try to help in such a difficult time. Yeah, it's very like a valuable quality from my point of view. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's very inspiring. Yeah, and as I know, you've been travel back forth China and Italy, and also learning the language, and also been traveling around the China. So, do you think the reaction from people towards this COVID-19 could be also different, like behavior wise, it's different because of the cultural difference?
For example, in China, they are more used to wear masks.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as the cases spread all over China, I could see that everyone was wearing masks, and they were very careful about this. While in Italy, we were a little bit slow in this. For example, when I came back to Italy, I was wearing my masks, but my friends said, "This is useless. You don't need to wear these." Or also in nursing homes, some nurses, they were wearing masks, but their bosses just said, don't wear this, because you are because people like old people, they're going to be afraid. So we are not that used to wearing masks. This is just a very like a small example. um,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, mm, I think that maybe because of the kind of like the government in China maybe is more organized, and people respect a lot these rules. I could see that also in every building, the Baoan, the guards of the
Security
building,
guy. Yeah, yeah,
were very strict. Also, like they didn't let people go in if they were not wearing masks. They were very careful about this. So while here in Italy, we were a little bit slower than China in this point of view for regarding wearing masks and like get
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, I still find, yeah, I think it's quite interesting to find out the cultural differences, and also, I was also very impressed about Italian who was singing the songs on there's a balcony, and they share the instruments and like a concert, a small mini concert on the balcony. I found it's very nice. Like I feel Italian have those attitudes. Like yeah, no matter what has happened, we should enjoy life somehow. And for that, I respect. Like it's different, but you can see the energy, and that's also why I started to learn Italiano. I found that the culture is really fascinating. Yeah.
Difficult. It's difficult learning Italian, right?
Yeah, really different, really different. But it's for me, it's very cute. You know, it's quite nice. Yeah, to do with it. Yeah. So when you are in China, when especially you living in the country,
Mhm.
what I assume you must have a challenge as well, right? What's your challenge to
Mm,
cope with the cultural difference? Mhm.
um, uh, China is a very big country, and there are a lot of different realities, like the small villages, the big cities. As I come from a small town in Italy, when I first came to Beijing or Shanghai, uh, I need a lot of time to get used to a very fast life, like. And also like big spaces. I had to find my small world inside a very big city like Shanghai. So of
Mhm.
course, at the beginning, you have to face a lot of a different culture, a different mindset, because sometimes I was feeling that Chinese were not very flexible in some way,
Mhm.
like bureaucracy, these kind of things. Every day it was a challenge. Every day was a challenge, even in like daily routine life. I don't know, going to the market, everything. But then after some time, you get used to this, and you start appreciating all the small things, all the simple things. I really like Chinese people because I've always felt very like welcomed by Chinese people, maybe because I also speak some Chinese. So they always try to help me. Everywhere I went, I found like new friends. Uh, so so every day for me was a challenge, in the good way and in the bad way. Like I also learned a lot from the bad experiences that we all face in China, because of course sometimes we find we have to face some difficulty, but at the end, I was feeling I was feeling richer than before, because I also learned a lot from this, from everything, like the bad and the good things. And
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I see. And like talking about working and daily life, how about when you're traveling around the China? Do you find anything you know impressed you a lot, and you find it's really different?
Mm, uh, yeah, for example, all the east no the like all the big cities are completely different than the center of China. uh,
Mhm.
so I could see a lot of differences. I also like really liked, and I really enjoyed the, you can think that China is always full of like its pollution, is big cities, fast life, modernity, but then you can also find another China, and that was the one that really also I really like, which is like small villages, very calm life, still like very slow life. Like farmers, full of farmers. I could see a lot of vegetables hanging around. So I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that, because China is very big, and you never you always have something to learn from people, and from such a big culture like China. A lot of history. Of course, I don't know that much, but it's a lot. So that is really fascinating.
Mm-hmm. And since this project was creating to hear the voice from people who believe in water citizenship, and so in your eyes, what is water citizen?
For me, being a world citizen doesn't mean how much you travel and how long you spend abroad. I think it's more about it's a mindset. It's like a philosophy. It's the way you look at things, and especially it's the way you look at what is different from you. Like it's about being curious. It's about being. It's about respect of what is different, and because it's always a possibility for you to learn and to enrich yourself. And also it's about being it's about empathy, I think, and being humble, so that you are open to learn from what is different, what is yeah, I think
Wow.
it's more a mindset
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the way you look at what is not you, what is outside.
Hmm. I really like your definition about that. You mentioned several keywords like the mindset. It's supposed to be the mindset, um, like empathy. Um, uh, Also, you are talking about humble to learn, and also, yeah, I think those keywords definitely is. I think is a key. Is a key for open your heart to embrace the difference.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And in the end, if because since you are learning Chinese, so is
Mhm.
there any Chinese words came to your mind that you'd love to share with everyone?
Mm, uh, First of all, I'm still learning Chinese. So every time I have Chinese lessons, uh, when I learn new words, I always want to know the meaning of the different characters, because every character is composed by the meaning part and the phonetic part. And in every character that we learn together, my teacher always teaches me what's the philosophy behind. And this is very fascinating. But the simplest word that I have in my mind is the first word that I learned at university. And that was the reason why I decided to learn Chinese, because I wanted to understand the meaning of these characters, of these drawings for me, which is the character of house, which is jia, jia. So it's composed by a roof and a pig, because of course you can have a family, you can have a house if you can afford. So if you have an animal, you can live, you can have a family. So maybe this it's also can be related to this period of COVID. So staying at home with your family. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because 家, in Chinese, it's not. Yeah, it's more about house, home, family, and it can be small family and can be big family. Like maybe water citizen is also a way to say we are in the big family, right? And suppose we take care of each other, even we have so many differences in between,
sure.
but we can be happy to embrace the differences, I guess.
Mm-mm.
Ah, then would you like to teach me how to say embrace the differences in Italiano?
Okay.
Mhm.
uh, Abbracciare means embrace. So abbracciare la
Ah, la
differenza.